there's this passage I like from Marcus Aurelius where he says, begin each day by telling yourself that today I shall meet with bullshitters. I shall meet with people who are going to snake me. I shall meet with cappers, is what he says in this passage. And it's phrased slightly differently, but this is what he's saying. And I think that a lot of what I get out of these Stoic ideas, right? So I made this little website and I thought, a lot of these reactions that we get to situations are solved problems. Like, they say chess is a solved game, right? Our emotional response is a solved game, right? They solved this. This is, Marcus Aurelius was, 161 to 180 CE. He was one of the good emperors, right? This guy had it figured out. Born 121, right? So nearly 2,000 years ago. And his information was just coming from older people, right? These problems are solved. Okay, things not going as planned. Accept what happens is necessary. Obstacles can become opportunities. Explore deeper. Every obstacle carries equal or greater opportunity. The question is, can you find it? Right, and then just going into it. So I made this thing with Claude because I found like this would help me in different situations. Just kind of having something to refer to. I mean, that button doesn't work for some reason. It does now. Getting annoyed at small things. The principle is the dichotomy of control. Asking yourself, is this within my control? If not, why not? I think that this applies to so many different situations that I previously found myself getting annoyed at. So this quote really summarizes it, that you have power over your mind, not outside events. And you'll find strength in this, basically. And I've asked it to include different quotes and ideas from people like Charlie Munger, Steve Jobs, Marcus Aurelius, and kind of like just how to respond to these kind of situations, ways to practice a response to it. So what he says is that we're going to meet with people who are going to interfere. They're not going to be grateful. They're going to be insolent, disloyal, selfish. Because when you go out into the world, your paths are like intersecting with random people who are at other random stages in their situation, and they've got this whole history of what brought them to there. There's their thoughts, the way they react to situations. So like, you can basically expect that, right? You're going to meet absolute bullshitters. You're going to meet people who are going to interfere with your plans. You're going to meet people who are going to cut you up in traffic. If you cycle a bike on the road, you can basically guarantee that you're nearly going to die, right? If you drive a car, you can basically guarantee that someone is going to snake you, cut you up, nearly cause you to die, right? It's guaranteed. And I like this idea that it's a feature, not a bug, right? Someone snaking you up, interfering with your day, lying to you, being ungrateful, those are not bugs. Those are features of the day, right? It's not being negative. It's just being realistic about what is likely to happen, what's likely to occur, and how to respond to that in a good way, rather than getting caught up in all of these kind of negative emotions that probably ensue from something bad happening to you. This is the more Stoic way of responding to situations. So let's say frustrated, feeling stuck. I like this idea. The journey matters more than the destination. Focus on what you're becoming. That's a nice reminder when you're feeling a little bit impatient. And then if you want to explore deeper, the paradox. When you focus on the journey rather than the destination, you often reach the destination faster and enjoy it more. Marcus Aurelius understood, confine yourself to the present and take each day as it comes. This is a good little app. I've just got this linked to like a bookmark on my phone, and I just refer to this a couple times a day at the moment because I think it's very useful. Like I'm saying, these problems are solved, right? You don't need to create new solutions to feeling impatient and things not going to plan, or someone wronged you, or feeling disrespected. These problems have been fucking solved. Don't try and solve them again. Envying others' success. How old is that problem? Compete with who you were yesterday. Their path is different than yours. How much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbour says or does or thinks. You know? Stay in your lane, bruv. A practice. List 3 ways you've improved recently, no matter how small. Nice. You know, a good practice, a good response, a good solution. We don't need to solve envy. Okay? That is done. It's been done. Don't worry about envy or disappointment or frustration. And I think the best level up for me recently has just been getting to a point where this is what my mind goes to when something happens. You know, I go to this rather than getting caught up in what my emotional response or my initial response is, and just kind of feeling that it's there, but then being like, I really need to think about this from a more zoomed out perspective rather than just getting caught in this situation. And that has been, you know, insanely helpful for me. And I thought it was kind of funny that today I shall be meeting with bullshitters. But I genuinely do think that this is what we need to kind of think of what our day is going to be like. You know, you're going to meet with people who are going to interfere, and you should expect it because they're features, not bugs. So if you want to look at this, I'm going to link this somewhere on this video because I found this really useful.